Welcome to I welcome you all to this morning Bhagavad Gita session. Uh, so today we will discuss about how we can understand the supremacy, Krishna supremacy confirmed by authorities. At the same time, we can also go through his pastimes and his leelas, how he become uh, very compassionate towards his devotees as well. Yeah. Okay. We are reading Bhagavad Gita 18.78. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhuti, Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mistakes, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion. So it's wonderful things actually. Uh, Krishna says in he says, Davi esha gunamai mamamaya duratyaya mam yevahi prapatyante mayam yetam tarantite. He says that this divine energy of mine, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. So Krishna has innumerable energies. In those, this is external energy also works under him. At the same time, in the external energy, there are three gunas. The three gunas influences, and it keeps us as long as you are not surrendered to Krishna. So these three gunas will be effective and on the particular people who is engrossed and indulged in sense gratification and materialistic way of life. So Krishna here, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has innumerable energies, and all these energies are divine, even though they are contacted with some external energies, are contacted with material nature. But if a person is having attached to Krishna and having attachment towards Krishna, and he is beyond the three gunas, so then definitely these three, he also overcome this effect of the three gunas, and he'll be close to Krishna. I mean, definitely he will be in Shuddha Sattva platform, Sattvic Gun. Although the living entities are part and parcel of his energies and are therefore the divine due to contact with material energy, their original superior power is covered. So this Krishna supremacy is some authorities already we discussed. There are 12 Mahajanas are there, and we see like a Bhishma has confirmed, and Krishna's energies and power at the same time, Narada, Devala, so many exalted devotees of Lord have confirmed how powerful Lord is. So in Bhagavad Gita, we see that actually this war between Yudhishthir Maharaj and Duryodhana. So Arjuna fought behalf of Yudhishthir Maharaj. We know that. So, and wherever Krishna is there, there is a victory. Because, and when Duryodhana approaches Krishna to have his favorism, then as soon as Duryodhana has come, 1 second. As soon as Duryodhana approaches Krishna for favorism to have a like Krishna support, he was expecting like, I want all your army and all. Then Arjuna was sitting at the feet. Then he asked, Krishna looked at him and he also asked Arjuna. Arjuna said, you just like, holding his feet and all, you just be with us and support us. Then that much intelligence, one who understands what is the nature of Krishna and the full sense of Krishna, they can only know about the Krishna. Otherwise, it's not that much easy to understand Krishna. So then Krishna supported them. Then wherever Krishna is there, then there is success. That's what even this verse also says, that wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mistakes, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. So the morality we see in many aspects of, like, in material world, if a person gets a victory, so he will be having pride and all. But in devotee's case is not like that. Like, as per the comment, but last we see that Sarat Darshini have been completed. Like, there were trifling matter have not bothered. So to write them again. So let that be. Thus, comment is Bhagavad Gita have been commented by many peoples. Some acharyas have commentaries that the first here is that Kanda Trayatmika Sarva Veda, that's karma, jnana, and upasana kandas, and being placed in the middle is not so obvious. So since it is in the middle, in touch, the other two, giving them life, if the 6 chapters concentrating the bhakti were placed at the beginning or the end, they could only touch one of the other topics. Therefore, it is protected by the other 2 topics on either side. The other names are Uttama Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti, and Kevala Bhakti. He was the son of the Dharma or Yamaraja, and King Drupada was forced to give part of his kingdom to Drona. So, as he was less powerful, he performed a sacrifice to obtain a son who would kill Drona. Drishtadyumna and Draupadi emerged from the fire. A celestial voice proclaimed that his son would kill Drona in the future. The news spread, but Drona did not mind when Drishtadyumna approached him to learn that art of the weaponry. Drona taught him. During the war, Drishtadyumna eventually beheaded Drona. And this is quoted by Sridhar Swami and Baladev Vidyabhushan, but the source has not given. So, at the same time, literally the word would mean he who is the sugar for Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Even Lord Brahma and Shiva have confirmed the who is the supreme authority, and the supreme power of Krishna, they have clearly explained us. And source is unknown. This is different, like different thing. Madhu was the father of Vishnu, whose later descendants included Vasudeva and Devaki. The demon Madhu, along with his brother Kaitaba, appeared after Brahma appeared from the lotus of Vishnu's navel and stole the Vedas from him. Vishnu consequently killed them, and Bhishma could die when he chose, and made a vow to remain unmarried for life. The life heirs go with the subtle body after death and enter a new body along with the subtle body at birth. And Vishwanath Chakravarti has taken as Asu literally as the life heir and Agatsun as those bodies from which the life heirs do not depart. The subtle bodies, if we were to take Agatsun as meaning the gross body from which the life heir has not yet departed, then there would be no reason for even the fool to lament for it. So the Sanskrit for this rather cryptic statement is Enam Atmanam Deham Chatad Ubhaya Rupam Sarvalokam. The meaning is taken by Bhaktivinod in his translation of this verse is the soul is amazing since people understand the soul is completely different ways. This Jiva is the Tattva is seen as a material entity or body divide of conscious substance, deham, as a conscious entity which is not eternal, tat ubhaya rupam, and is one soul only, as in Advaita philosophy says that sarvalokam. In Vishwanath's commentary, he takes the meaning of Asharya as astonishing in this verse. The sense of how to understand, modifying enam, the Atma, thus they misunderstand it as a material object, as a temporary spiritual element. Oh, that's what we can understand actually. Even Arjuna says in the 10th chapter that. So he is confirming the supremacy of the Krishna. That Arjuna says, Parabrahma Parandama Pavitram Paramam Bhavam Purusham Shashwatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Rasaya Sarve Devarshir Naradastata Achito Devalabhyasa Swayam Chaiva Bhavasi Me. He says that you're the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You're the eternal, transcendental, original person. Excuse me. The unborn, the greatest, all the great sages such as Narada, Sita, Deval, and Vyasa confirms this truth about you, and now yourself are declaring. He says that in the 9th chapter, Maya Dikshena Prakriti Suyate Sa Chara Charam. So, and in this particular, actually, to understand about Krishna's supremacy and Krishna's strength, we see when he's in Vrindavan, he lifted Govardhan and he killed so many demons. And so, in the killing of Putana, when he killed Putana, he sucked her breast. Through that, he sucked her life hair as well. In that time, so Putana, even though she is a Rakshasa, she was a Rakshasa, then because of Krishna's touch, she, motherly affection, she became elevated to higher planetary system. Higher planetary means she got liberation. At the same time, her when the body got burnt, uh, her, her body was producing fragrances. You see, to understand the supremacy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even the Rakshasa dies. So when it got burned, that time it was producing the fragrance. So that is the touch of Krishna. So there are so many things actually. Like now, prana is when the prana in the uh, chest area is actually prana located in chest area is associated with breathing and speech. Apana located and below the navel is responsible for exertion and gives energy to the lower organs in the body, including intestine, intestines, genital and anus, like samana located. In the solar plexus is responsible for digestion and assimilation of food. So Udana controls the heart, like head region and swallowing movement of limbs and erect posture. Vihana pervading the whole body causes circulation of blood and coordinates the activities of the other pranas. How this is like, Krishna designed the body very beautifully uh, because he is the Parabrahma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He can do whatever way he wants. So in modern science, we cannot understand by using that. They say, okay, these organs have been like properly managed and systematically. They say it's a science. Okay, who is beyond? Who is behind it? Who did it? Okay, it is science. Where this is coming from? This knowledge is being lack in the present age. So that's how how actually human body works. Why, like, uh, how in a particular age of period, the in the womb, the fetal gets the life. How they understand that? Do we understand that without Bhagavad Gita? Why modern science is not able to figure it out? How the soul without like they don't accept the soul is there. So the Krishna's we are aspecting like we are discussing in a simple aspect of the body, how body has been created. In that body, when it is in the womb, in the particular age of period, the soul enters. At the same time, how the soul in the who designed that? How it is possible that the soul enter in a particular time? So this knowledge only comes through a proper guidance and direction. So this has been given by our authorities and Bhagavad Gita. Krishna, that's what he has mentioned clearly. He is telling everything is coming from me. And we heard that the 7th chapter also, how a source of like this material nature, how earth have produced, then from earth how these all things have been developed. So here we have to understand that simple understanding. So every demigod and human being is dependent on him, men and demigods, and out of ignorance think that they are absolute and independent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That ignorance is removed perfectly by the discharge of devotional service. This has already we have explained in previous verses, and the 77 verse also we discussed. Now by his grace, Arjuna is accepting him as the supreme truth in coordination, concordance with The Vedic injunction, it is not that because Krishna is Arjuna's intimate friend or Arjuna is flattering him by calling him the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the absolute truth. Whatever Arjuna says uh, in these two verses also, it's confirmed a Vedic truth. And Vedic injunctions affirms that only one who takes to devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead can understand him, whereas others cannot. Each and every word of this verse spoken by Arjuna is confirmed by the Vedic injunctions. In even in Upanishads, and there are so many Upanishads says confirms that the supremacy of Krishna, and particularly Vedas, Supreme Lord is accepted as the purest of the pure. One who understands that Krishna is the purest of the pure can become purified from all sinful activities. And one cannot be disinfected from sinful activities unless he surrenders unto the Supreme Lord. Arjuna's acceptance of Krishna as the Supreme Pure compiles with the injunctions of Vedic literature. This is also confirmed by great personalities. Like we can see Narada, Bhishma, Vyasa, and Chatuskumaras. And 12 Mahajanas we already discussed. Just a second. And he says like, the king, we see in Priyavrata's case also, while so excellently ruling the universe, King Priyavrata once became dissatisfied with the circumambulation of the most powerful sun god. And encircling Sumeru hill on his chariot, the sun god illuminates all the surrounding planetary systems. However, when the sun is on the northern side of the hill, the south receives less light. And when the sun is in the south, the north receives less. And King Priyavrata disliked this situation and therefore decided to make daylight in the part of the universe where there was night. He followed the orbit of the sun god on a brilliant side. So, you see, when the Mahabharata war was happening, so then Arjuna, so Krishna made like sun, the Kshatriyas, the qualities are like, they're fight. The rules are that when sunset happens, so the war has to be stopped. So Krishna made such a way that, so uh, they says that I forgot his name. So last class we discussed that. So he about to like, that same day that this, it is by one by, they says that I forgot his name. So sorry. And he has cursed by somebody to by end of the his day, and today your death day, Arjuna will kill you before sunset. So then everybody started fighting against Arjuna. So all Kauravas and all. So Arjuna is trying his best to defeat and all. Then Krishna made a such a way trick that, and sun should be sunset, like disappeared. Then everyone thought that okay, sunset gone, I'm saved and all. Then that person has a curse that whoever have killed him, if his head falls on the earth, so immediately he will be experiencing death. So as soon as um, his father approached the person, then immediately sun appeared, immediately Arjuna shooted the arrow, then such a way that the sun is on the chariot and father is on, like, on the earth. Then his sons, that Krishna, Arjuna beheaded his son's head, then by shooting arrow, the head came into his father's, like, hands. Exactly. So these things happens only by Krishna's power. Only Krishna can do all these activities. And sorry for that, I forgot name now, Alaf suddenly. So please forgive me. And it is coming in the mouth, but it's not coming out. So Krishna, there are so many things are there. We can, like, just we cannot discriminate. Actually, Krishna, we don't have that much purity also to understand and know about Krishna. So that's what Arjuna expresses himself through the grace of Krishna. If you want to understand Bhagavad Gita, we should accept the statements in these last two verses. This is called parampara system, acceptance of the disciple succession. Unless one is in the disciple succession, he cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. It is not possible by so-called academic education people. Unfortunately, those proud of their academic education, despite so much evidence in Vedic literature, stick to their obstinate conviction that Krishna is an ordinary person. And these two verses, it says that, right? Parabrahma, Parandhama, Param. It says that. So we have to understand that how we can, and Bhagavad Gita also we can understand that to realize oneself by philosophical speculation and by meditation is one process, but to fully surrender unto Krishna is the highest perfection. This is the essence of the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. The path of regulative principles according to the order of the social life and according to the different courses of religion may be a confidential path of knowledge, but although the rituals of religion are confidential, meditation and cultivation of knowledge are still more confidential. And surrender unto Krishna is a devotional service in full Krishna consciousness is the most confidential instruction. That is the essence of the 18th chapter. But in spite of this much confidential, how we all got? Because of mercy of Acharyas and Guru and ultimately Krishna. So Krishna is giving us mercy through Arjuna. So Arjuna was inquiring for us. In Kali Yuga, we don't have any qualification. We are not qualified at all. We are sinful people. We may not commit sinful activities sometimes, but every minute we think negatively. And every minute we think something bad about others. Every second. So that itself says that, okay, one may climb in Satya Yoga, it may, whatever you think, it appears. But the purity is losing. The moment we think bad about somebody, there is no purity in us. So this, to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and are we really qualified to understand about Krishna? So by the mercy of Krishna and Acharyas, we can understand that. So actually, to hear about Krishna name, we are so fortunate. There are some countries, they don't know. I'll tell you already, I'm repeating again this. There is a one Rwanda country is there in Africa. How many of you know? I don't know. First time maybe hearing. So in that country, in 2008, the president has introduced a system that every house should have a cow, one cow, compulsory. Then the statement, because of that plan, behind that plan is that the president made a compulsory policy. Like the policy is that every house should have cows. Because of that poor country, he is telling that whoever is having cow in their house, they will have self-sustainability and they don't need to depend on anyone. There will be no scarcity of food. So especially, and definitely there are some countries, they fought for food also. And we see often, like, some videos or pictures how people are dying, not having food and all. So that was the situation world is going through. But still in India, we don't have dare to implement. We can't tell directly, I am Hindu, I am a follower of Krishna. Truth we discuss. Why can't? Yes, we should discuss. Why can't? Because we see it is, if somebody speaks strongly, hey, he says that he is a Hindu, he is a Kattar Hindu. What is Kattar Hindu? See, we are not harming anyone. At the same time, we are spreading Krishna consciousness, but as a devotee, we should encourage as much as possible. If we have a facility, devotees should have a cow. Even Prabhupada supported that. If people have a cows in their house, they no need to suffer for anything. Okay, so that was Rwanda country. They implemented this policy. Even Cuba. Cuba is a communist country. They have the policy of every house should have a cow. Then why I am saying this story? So recently, one terrorist, he ran away from India. He did bomb blast and all. He ran away from India and he hide himself in the Rwanda country. So that our politician came to know that, our prime minister, then we don't have any exchanges in between Rwanda and India. So what he has done, that prime minister, Rwanda prime minister likes cows, that our Modi sent 200 gir cows to Rwanda, Africa. Exchange, he did not expected anything. So then this Islamist terrorist is hiding in that country. Then he came to know that this fellow is hiding in that country. So he told that, okay. Then he came to know that why he is hiding and what he has done. As soon as he came to know that he did something very damaging, like country in India, like he damaged in India. So immediately he arrested him and sent to India. See how, like, peace works. Actually, that the purity, even though we don't expect something, we do something favor to someone, which really helps them and give them benefit. So definitely the returns comes to us. Returns comes to us. So here also, we should do one thing, that we know the importance of Bhagavad Gita, and we know the power of Bhagavad Gita, and we know the importance of devotional service. We try to give others, then definitely Krishna will favor us one day, definitely. So in that way, definitely we ourselves get benefit out of it. So, and the another feature of Bhagavad Gita is that the actual truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. The absolute truth is realized in three features: impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and ultimately the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And perfect knowledge of the absolute truth means perfect knowledge of Krishna. If one understands Krishna, then all the departments of knowledge are part and parcel of that understanding. Krishna is transcendental, for he is always situated in his eternal internal potency. The living entities are manifested of his energy and are divided in two classes, eternally conditioned and eternally liberated. Such living entities are innumerable. So, and they are considered fundamental parts of Krishna. Material energy is manifested in 24 divisions. The creation is affected by eternal time, and it is created and dissolved by external energy. This manifestation of the cosmic world repeatedly becomes visible and invisible. So, at the same time, in Bhagavad Gita, the five principal subject matters have been discussed. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, material nature, the living entities, the eternal time, and all kinds of activities. All is dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. All conceptions of the Absolute Truth, the impersonal Brahman, localizer Paramatma, and any other transcendental conception exist within the category of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although superficially, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the living entity, material nature, and the time appear to be different, nothing is different from the Supreme. But that Supreme is always different from everything. Lord Chaitanya's philosophy is that of inconceivable oneness and difference. Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. This system of philosophy constitutes perfect knowledge of the absolute truth. And the living entity in his original position is a pure spirit, is just like an atomic particle of the Supreme Spirit. Thus, Lord Krishna may be compared to the sun and the living entities to sunshine. Because the living entities are the material energy of Krishna, they have a tendency to be in contact either with the material energy or with the spiritual energy. In other words, the living entity is situated between the two energies of the Lord. And because he belongs to the superior energy of the Lord, he has a particle of independence. By proper use of that independence, he comes under the direct order of Krishna. Thus, he attains his normal condition in the pleasure-giving potency. So, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has innumerable energies, as we discussed. All these energies are divine, although the living entities are part of his energies and are therefore divine due to contact with material energy. Their original superior power is covered. Being thus covered by material energy, one cannot possibly overcome its influences. As previously, we discussed in how both the material and spiritual natures, being emanations from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are eternal. The living entities belong to the eternal superior nature of the Lord. But due to contamination by the inferior nature matter, their illusion is also eternal. The conditioned soul is therefore called Nitya Baddha or eternally conditioned. No one can trace out the history of a conditioned soul is becoming conditioned at a certain date in material history. Consequently, mm, it release from the clutches of material nature is very difficult, even though that material nature is an inferior energy, because material energy is ultimately conducted by the supreme will, which the living entity cannot overcome. Inferior material nature is defined here as a divine nature due to its divine connection, the connection and movement by the divine will being conducted by divine will matter, also material nature. although inferior, acts so wonderfully in the construction and destruction of the cosmic manifestation. The Vedas confirms that Mayam tu Prakritim Vidyam Mayanim tu Maheshwaram. It says that Maya means illusion is false or temporary. And the background of Maya is the supreme magician, the personality of Godhead, who is Maheshwara, the supreme controller. So here, when we see that a man bound by the hands and feet cannot free himself, he must be helped by a person who is unbound, right? So our intelligence is covered by material nature due to our false ego. Unless we accept this like a spiritual master, the representative of Krishna, a bona fide representative, the spiritual master, he shows mercy on the particular person, we cannot be released. So spiritual master can release the conditioned soul. Without such superior help, one cannot be freed from the bondage of material nature. That as the devotional services has a such potency. So either you have to surrender to Krishna or his representative, bona fide representative. You surrender to his bona fide representative also, I find. So through devotional service, we will become Krishna consciousness, and that Krishna consciousness can help one gain such release. And Krishna, being the Lord of illusory energy, can order this insurmountable energy to release the conditioned soul. He orders this release out of his causeless mercy on the surrendered soul and out of his paternal affection for the living entity who is originally a beloved son of the Lord. Therefore, surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Lord is the original only means to get free from the clutches of the stringent material nature. So we have to understand Mukti Pradata Sarvesham Vishnu Yevana Samshaya. There is no doubt that Vishnu is the deliverer of liberation for everyone. So only the Vishnu is the master of Maya. Therefore, he can alone give release to the conditioned soul. Even Vedas confirms us the facts Tvam Yeva Viditva, or freedom is possible only by understanding Krishna. Even Lord Shiva affirms that liberation can be achieved only by the mercy of Vishnu. And Lord Shiva says that clearly. Okay. So we have to surrender to the Krishna through his devotees. We accept a bona fide representative of Krishna who is a guru, spiritual master. So by his mercy, one can release from the clutches of the material nature. So that only can save us from this material nature. So unless we are connected to Krishna and his representatives, so we cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his activities, his pastimes. Okay. Thank you. I'm taking leave. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyo vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.